everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm showing you Robomon, which is the upcoming game from Gabe Barrett, similar to some other famous IP, we don't need to mention that. And as always, no disclaimer for this video, we never accept any compensation for our coverage, we just want to help you make an informed decision. And I'll be walking through some of the tutorial of the game, kind of showing you how things get started. And then at the end of the video, I'll give you my thoughts on the game and the system overall. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. We also have a streaming channel with even more content, plays, and interviews. We also have a weekly podcast, and you can join the conversation on our Discord. So the first thing you do in Robomon is set up your character. And it's pretty cool. They've got these sets of stickers, so you can pick the exact person you want. I was liking her. I think she looks pretty tough, ready to catch them all. And through the magic of adhesive, there she is in her full glory. Then we get to assign our stats. We'll have 1 at -1, 2 at 0, 1 at +1, 1 at +2. And there we go. We made her charisma a little bit weaker. She doesn't have time for people. She only has time for Robomon. But she has endurance, she has strength, and she's decent on intelligence and agility. And I have no idea how this will be used yet. You'll discover along with me. And finally, we have to name her. And I'm going with the fantastic name Blaze Grab'em. Might be a call out to somebody else. And let's see, there's also places where we can earn some certificates. Ooh, and patches, not badges, for different gyms or whatever. We'll get to all that later. And with that, we jump into one of the main components of the game, which is the map book. You'll see that I've got in sort of 8 or 16-bit glory, this map of an area, Copper Ridge in this case. And apparently you can scan a QR code to get like the music for the area to play, which is just kind of awesome. But each of these numbers represents a different place you can go to, and then you can also travel to new areas. And I'm going to go to this one first. This is whenever I first get to this page. I'm going to find the matching number in the adventure book, but I'm actually doing a 4-digit number. How you do the 4 digits is you take these numbers as the first 2 digits, so 1, 0, and you finish with the page number, 0, 1. So this is 1001. We got a little comic book. Good luck out there. Today's the day I finally get to meet my very first Robomon. Gramp's Mechanics. Hey, champ, looks like you're right on time. Oh, I remember back when I was just starting out as a Robomon Ranger in training. Of course, that was many moons ago and long before everything got standardized. We lost a lot of good kids out there, but honestly, who lets a 10-year-old go out into the wild on their own? Anyway, now that you're 17 and eligible for the Ranger program, I'm just so proud to see the person you become, and I know you're gonna do great. But before you go, you need to pick a Robomon to go with you on your journey. Here are your options. Alright, so I'm not gonna read all of the flavor text. Let me summarize a bit. I've got 3 Pokemon to choose from for my starting one. I've got Gustwing, a flying bird type, Willow Hare, who looks like a little forest rabbit, and Pandale, a fire panda. I mean, we know which way we're going, right? And a fun little touch for each Robomon you get a little journal card. And I think Gabe said that this like actual journal bound thing is going to be a stretch goal or an add-on, something like that. But either way, you can just keep these cards and they tell you like a little detail about them. Look, Pandale burns off old plant life to make way for new plant life, and he's a fire type. Very cool. And then Grandpa says he's going to show me the ropes of combat by having me fight against Sparky. This should be fun. So let's get into our first practice combat with Sparky. This is a wild Pokemon battle, which means it's just card-based. In like gym fights and stuff, you'll actually have a little movement map you're going around on. So first looking at Sparky, he's got 7 hit points, 7 gears we have to get through to capture him. He's got a movement of 4, but that doesn't matter until you're in a competitive battle against another Robomon catcher. He starts with 1 shield token, which is going to block 2 damage and then go away. And he has a 30 initiative score to determine which Robomon act first each round. Now, additionally, up here is how long you have to capture him before he runs away. You're going to be rolling 7 dice, and some of them will show little hourglass symbols. Whenever you get one of those, you add hourglass tokens to the Pokemon, and if they have as many as their threshold when they take their turn, they get away and you don't capture them. Sparky's infinite, though, so we have as much time as we want. Pando also has hit points 9. He also has power 11. That's how many of these power tokens he starts with. He'll spend them throughout the battle, and if he runs out, he powers down, but they all come back at the end of the battle. Whereas for hit points, I need to repair him after a battle to get them back. Alright, I just finished reading all the rules. It's pretty straightforward. I roll all 7 action dice. Okay, so here we would have added 3 hourglasses to Sparky. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that. Now, these dice are also green movement arrows, but sadly it doesn't help us at all in a basic battle like this, and neither does this one, because those are movement, moving your Robomon around the battlefield. Now, I do have this action token I get every turn. I can flip it to one of these 2 sides, and it becomes another token for me to use, so either a basic or special attack, that's the boom or the star, basic or special, or a movement or a guard. I'm going to try to do a big special attack on him. So I'm going to go ahead and flip to this side. And now on your turn, you can resolve a basic attack, which will use 1 to 3 of the basic symbols, or a special attack, which will use 1 to 3 of the star symbols. But you can't do both, and whichever one you use is going to use as much power as indicated. So here, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 stars. That means I'm dealing the third value of damage, 6 here, but it's costing me 2 power to use. Now, additionally, Pandol has an ongoing ability, Overcharge. I can spend 1 more power to take a damage to add 2 to the attack. That would do 8. But that wouldn't be enough for me to defeat Sparky, and he'll be almost defeated at the end of this turn anyway, so I'm not going to choose to hurt myself. So I'm doing 6 damage with the 3 specials. And this is fire type, but Sparky doesn't have a type, so there is no advantage or negative. You can see here where the type is and who they have advantage and disadvantage against. So Pandol is good against like plants, and I don't know, is that like spiders, but bad against water and earth. And that determines which modifier die you're going to roll. If, like in the case of Sparky, I don't have any advantage or disadvantage, I roll this one, which will sometimes subtract and sometimes add to the damage dealt. Let's see how we do. -1, so we're dealing 5 damage instead of 6. If we had advantage, we'd roll this green one, which is only positive. If we had a disadvantage, we'd roll this red one, which is only negative and can make the attack miss entirely. So 5 damage, shield always blocks the first 2, and if I only did 1 damage, it wouldn't even go away. And then 3 damage gets through out of his 7, so he only needs 4 more to be defeated. Then we're going to roll the special D4 die to determine who Sparky targets. This has different like priorities for him, but we're going to ignore that because there's only me to fight. And then the D4 is going to determine what his actual action is, which is a 2. That's a tackle, doing 2 damage with no type to have advantage or disadvantage with. But instead of me getting defense tokens, I can discard a dice showing it, or if I'd chosen to have this token face up. So I will block the 2 damage and not get hurt. Take that, Sparky. Oh, and sorry, I should have said this more explicitly. I have a speed of 50, he has a speed of 30, so I go first in each round. All right, let's go again. If we can just do 4 damage, he won't get to do anything. All right, so we can do 2 specials. That'd be 3 damage. And this targeting icon and the dots relates to the map battles. The dots are how much range it has, so the fireball can go 3 range. So pretty good chance I won't defeat him. Well, you know what? Actually, never mind. I'll do this again to get a full 3 special attack, and then even if I don't kill him somehow, I still have 4 block. But I think the lowest I can get is -2. So, oh, wow. So 8 damage, clearly enough to take him out. So Sparky is defeated. And happily, I didn't take any damage, and all my power comes back at the end of the combat anyway, so that was a clean sweep. And I also get my first equipment, which is a tracker for robots. I get 5 batteries to start. I can spend 1 battery and roll 2d6 to try to find a Robomon in my area based on the map I'm on. And how it works is you are trying to cross-index 1 number for a row and 1 number for a column, getting to one of these versus whatever results. But sometimes, like here, both numbers are going to be for the same area. So like these are both giving me a column. But if you spend extra batteries, you can increase or decrease the dice by 1 per battery. So like here, even though it would be wasteful, if I really wanted to fight number 17 and try to capture him, I could spend 1, 2, 3 to change the 3 into a 6. And then I'd be versus 17. So that'll change as we go around. We can try to get our new Robomon, and I'm assuming we can get our batteries back somehow. So now that we know how to use the tracker and we've seen how combat works, our Gramps tells us what our goal is. Doing different quests and tasks around the locations is going to give us points towards these 5 certifications. And whenever we earn enough, like 15 search and rescue, we'll get a sticker right here to show it. When we get all 5 stickers, we'll be official Robomon Rangers, and I guess maybe then we go after the patches. Maybe it's like kind of a double thing. I don't know. And finally, he gives us a map of the province with little notes. The production value that Gabe has already put into this game is really insane. Oh, look at the end. Gramps gives us Sparky as well, which is cool because you can actually use 2 Robomon in battle at a time. So now we got both of them. So he's really slow. He's got not as much power as Pandol, but decent health. And his basic attack is super weak, just a bite. Ooh, but he can boost, spend 2 of his power to give another Robomon 3 power. Doesn't matter how many stars he spends. Or he can repair to heal another Robomon. So he's not really helping much with damage. He's just a support guy. And look, there he is. Gramps made Sparky in the garage. He's a good friend. Awesome. And even though Pandol is way stronger, we'll be splitting the dice between them. So for example, if Pandol uses all of the stars for a big fireball attack, maybe I'll have a basic die or 2 left for Sparky to bite. Or vice versa, if Pandol slams, Sparky will probably be able to repair or boost. Oh, and here's a cute comic to show us what happened. He's been a trusty companion to me, and I'm sure he'll be one to you. Ah, down boy! Okay, we were murdered by the robot dog. The game is over. That's the end of the campaign. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you the next stop. Oh, now we're in Gramps' garage. It says some numbers take you to new maps to explore inside the adventure book. To interact with an element, select a letter and read the corresponding paragraph. And then a number with an arrow means to turn to this page in the map book. So we can head back out of here after we look around. So first is A, we can talk to Gramps. And he gives us 10 silver, the game's currency, so we are not broke. Yay, thanks, Gramps. He also has a special event text to read if you've gotten all 60 Robomon in the game. Clearly, we're not going to do that yet. This computer has a number 47. If I find what are called jump drives out in the wild, I would have put their numbers with the 47 and read specific entries. I don't have any of those, so we'll skip that for now. This one's a picture of my dad. Nothing special there. Gramps just says how he remembers how proud he was of him. And ooh, wait, this bookshelf. Ooh, I found something in it. Sorry, I'm skipping all the flavor text. We can get to the meat of the game. I found a jump drive 23. So let's go ahead and see what it says. 2347. And yeah, I just checked it out. And basically, Gramps said, "Where did you find that?" And he took it right back from me. And it showed giant robots that Gramps said, luckily, they didn't have to build because the war ended before they needed to. Some darker backstory going on. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go back to the map book. All right, now we can explore the town a bit. Now, there's like little people to actually talk to and go to different entries. But additionally, there's a lot of generic places where you can just find items. And for all of these, you mark off the circle when you've done it. Now, I'm not sure if Gabe's going to have me send this to another content creator, so I'll just remember. But yeah, you go to the matching icon and roll the D4 and see what you find. So here, like I could do these 3 doors. And we get a 4, a 4, and a 4. So I'd get 3 small repair kits for fixing my robots. And then go into the magnifying glass up there. I'd get a 1, which would be another battery. Now, there's a ton of places to explore here. I'll just show you a couple, for example. So here, this is a door, like one of the places you find items, but it's got a number. So let's go ahead and see what 2101 says. You find a conveniently unlocked door. Doors, chests, and search items. Along your journey, you'll find lots of doors with a purple door handle on them. Whenever you see this icon, refer to the chart with the same icon, roll the indicated die. You can only find 1 item per icon. Why is it okay to walk into people's homes and take an item of your choosing? Are there no legal repercussions for this? Yeah, JRPGs get a little weird. It's probably better not to ask these questions, but let's just assume the world is full of some very generous people, or maybe no one's home. And I get a battery, so that's 7 I've got total. All right, let's see. There's also this nondescript old guy over here, so let's talk with him, 2602. Mr. Chalmers motions for you to join him, and he tells you how excited he is to see you starting your Ranger certification. He tells you good luck and hands you a small bag. Gain 3 small reprogrammers. And he asks if I know how to use them. Well, I'll go ahead and summarize it. Okay, this mechanic might be familiar to those who played the Aliens version of Hunted that Gabe made. Basically, during a battle with a wild Pokemon, you can try to capture them. You're trying to roll greater than the remaining number of hit points. So the weaker you get them, the easier it is. You roll a die based on the reprogrammer you're using. The small ones you gave me just roll the D4. You roll it into the bottom of the box. If it gets into the red, it counts. If it doesn't get into any of the boxes, then it's just wasted. If it gets into the yellow, you get +1 to your roll. If it gets into the green, it gets +3 to the roll. Let's try it out. Okay, that was bad. We'll try again. There we go. So that would be a basic 2. So if the Robomon had 1 hit point left, we would get him. Let's try one more. Come on. There we go. I think. Oh, and you get to choose if it's on the line. So that would be a 3. Okay, that's a little better. Come on, give me the green. Give me the green. Oh, there we go. That would be a 7. So even if he was like almost fully healed, I could get him. All right, so I went through the rest of the stuff in the town. It actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. It's just like a little paragraph for each person. But I did want to show you one example that covers some of the core mechanics in the game. We're going to go to 13, this little stand next to the Bolt Mart. So first it says, if I have a comic book, turn to 5709. You'll often run into people who need something or want you to accomplish a task. So there's a bunch of like little quests. Let's read what this one says. You see your friend Dustin napping at the table in front of the Bolt Mart his dad owns. You tap him on the shoulder and it startles him so much that he almost falls off the box he's sitting on. I was about to win the RFL championship, he says. I was 1 match away from bringing home the belt. He looks off into the distance. Then he snaps back to reality. Oh, I bet you're here because my dad just got back from the city and you're wondering if you brought back anything cool. Dustin straightens up and looks at his fingernails. Well, there's not much to report. I mean, other than the newest issue of Kid Dynamo just came out. Your eyes widen as Dustin slams the comic onto the table. You reach out to grab it, but he quickly slides it away from you. No can do, Ranger. Now that you're a bona fide certificate-chasing wannabe, I can no longer give these things out for free. So if you want to see if Kid Dynamo can defeat Dr. Tartan and restore order to the universe, it's going to cost you. So then we get a choice here. We can tell Dustin to name his price, 1302. Tell Dustin he's about to catch V's hands. Ooh, Robomon gets serious, 1303. Or we can distract him and try to take the comic without him noticing, 1304. Now, I'm not going to be a butthead and rob one of my own friends, but you'll see that those choices would have been charisma checks or agility checks. What you do is you roll 2d6, so in this case, a 9, and you add or subtract your bonus for the indicated skill. So here, if I had done agility, I would have gotten a 9 or less, I would have failed. And if I had done charisma with a -1, I would have gotten an 8 or less, also a failure. So good thing I didn't choose that. But that's how skill checks work. That's how those attributes come into play. But instead, I choose 1302. Surprise me, Dustin says with a smirk. Bring me a comic I haven't read yet, and we'll do a little trade. Okay, so this gets me a quest, which is card 9 from the adventure deck. And you get a card with a nice little picture. I mean, again, the qualities is kind of crazy here. Find a comic book for Calvin in Copper Ridge. The comic book is not in Copper Ridge, but the Calvin is where he wants it. And I got a few other quests. Mrs. Sands wants a power core for her robot. Ricky's mom wants a microchip to fix his robot. And also a little television commercial gave me a pocket boat voucher. So once I find the store in a different town where the pocket boat store is, I guess, I'll get a free boat. And also over here, there's a ravine I can't cross unless I have a grappling hook. Over here is the bus station. This appears to be basically quick travel. So once I've found other cities, I can just take the bus back to any city I've been to. And this one is a stop icon. We can't move away from this page until we've done this. This is like a 4-story beat. But before we do that, let's try to find a wild Pokemon. So I collected a ton of batteries in the things I was doing in the town. And I could buy more at the Balt Mart, but I didn't want to buy anything yet. So remember, one battery will let me roll 2d6. I'm trying to get a 1 and a 5, or a 4 and a 6, or a 1 and a 7, and I can modify with batteries. So let's spend our first battery. Let's try to get at least one of these. And I'm guessing the 27 is rarer and cooler. Oh, a 1 and a 2. So we could spend 5 batteries to change the 2 into a 7. We could spend 3 batteries to change the 2 into a 5. Or we could just spend 1 battery to re-roll. You're like, maybe that's the better option. Let's try it. Maybe that was the worst idea ever. 5, 6. Ooh, this one's pretty close. Look, I can just lower the 5 to a 4, and then we got 4, 6 for the other 17 option. All right, so let's go ahead and battle 17. And who have we got? Armadigo. So once he gets 5 hourglasses, he'll run away. He's got 9 health, 4 movement, that doesn't matter. Starts with 1 shield, 34 initiative, so only Sparky is slower than him. And he scratches, he does rock throw. Uh-oh, Pandal's weak against rock. And this guy is a rock type, so ooh, we're going to struggle here in general. Although Pandal can just use his basic slam attack, which has no type, and he won't get any negative. Okay, and then Burrow lets him move further and then attack. So either way, he's mainly going to be doing 3 damage most turns. And he's almost always going to prefer to attack Pandal because Pandal has a fire type, and on a 2, 3, or 4, by the way, use 1 die roll for both. On a 2, 3, or 4, he'll do an earth type attack against him since he's weak against it. Only on 1 will he potentially attack Sparky, and that's only if Sparky has the least life remaining. And I think in a tie, they attack the leftmost person, so I'm going to put Sparky on the left of my 2 people and hope that helps us not get Pandal defeated here. All right, there we go. We are ready to go. So I start the round by rolling my 7 dice, and I'm going to use them throughout the turn for both guys. All right, so I got, oh man, no basic attack. And I got 1 hourglass. That's not the worst. He's not too close to running away. Let's put that over here. But yeah, I've got 2 blocks. This is a wild. It can be treated as any other die face, but you have to spend 1 power to do so, hence the power icon. So Pandal is going to go first, and I get 1 of these for each of them. Yeah, I really don't want to deal with my Fireball possibly completely missing. It has a 1/3 chance of doing that since the type is opposite Armadigo. And just to show you, Fire is disadvantage against Earth, and Earth is advantage against Fire. So let's go and have him use this one for a basic attack and spend 1 power to turn this into another basic attack. So he'll do a 3 damage slam against Armadigo. Oh, and Armadigo has 1 shield. I don't want to forget that. We roll the basic modifier die because it is... Ooh, that was awesome. So that's 5 damage. So 3 gets through the shield. So there we go. We got some blocking left, and Sparky can boost or heal or something. Okay, next in turn order is Armadigo at 34. And he's going to do a 3. So first of all, he's targeting a lightning or fire type, which will be Pandal. And he's doing Burrow, which is 3 damage, but plus the green, 5 damage. So let's go and use both our shields to bring that down to 1. And then Sparky actually has 1 more thing that he needs, but he can go ahead and activate his repair. He'll take 2 of his power, but it'll let Pandal heal up to 2. There we go. All right, so we got Armadigo down to 6 life. Still too much to try to capture him. So let's go another round. Okay, we got 1 more hourglass. Again, not too bad. I kind of wasted 1. Okay. All right, I think I'll have Pandal use both. Oh, I know. I guess he doesn't need both because he can be on this side. So we'll have Sparky stay here so he can do, I guess, a bite if he wants to. Pandal will be on this side. And you'll use a basic attack, basic attack. If he goes up to the 3rd power and 5 damage, he might accidentally defeat Armadigo, which I do not want. So he's just going to spend 1 power and do that. And here we go. 3 plus 0. So Armadigo is at 3 life. And then he activates, gets a 3. Okay, so he's doing a 3 boosted attack to Pandal again. 5. We'll block 4 of it and take 1 again. So I could spend Sparky's turn to throw out my reprogrammer. So you have to take a turn for one of your Robomon to do that. But let's go ahead and try doing just a basic bite. but only for 1 damage. That way, literally only the single +2 face would actually defeat him, although I might do no damage at all. Yep, okay, we did nothing. Sparky's down to 4 power. All right, I think we're just going to have to try to capture him with what we got, because I don't think any of our attacks are weak enough to not potentially kill him. All right, and... Ooh, no! So we're only going to get 1 shot at this. He got 3 hourglasses, which means he's at his max of 5. When his turn comes around, he will escape, which means we've got a single chance with Pandal to try to capture him. But he's got 3 life left, so we would need to roll a straight up 4, or a 3 or 4 if we get into the yellow, or anything if we get into the green. All right, here we go. Ooh, yes! So wait, 3 + 1, 4, yes! All right, that uses up 1 of our 3 reprogrammers, but we can go buy more. And I think, yeah, Pandal keeps his 1 damage, but that's not a huge deal. I have several repair kits. And we change Armadigo into his nice version. So he's got 9 life, only 7 power. And by the way, you can only have 6 Robomon in your area at a time. 34 initiative, so still pretty slow. His claw is kind of weak. Rock throw, though, a pretty good range and does a nice damage. Oh, and Burrow lets him just move more spaces as an extra action. Okay. I mean, I think the best thing is that now I have 2 opposing types, which means I've got 4 out of the 7 types covered for having advantage against them. That's pretty nice. Now we should look. Armadigo. Dig small trenches for underground utility systems. Looking pretty cool. And now with that over with, let's check out our forced encounter before we go to a new page. Oh, it's another comic? Well, here comes the newbie. Now, hold it! You were thinking of leaving without saying goodbye to your old friend Tabitha, were you? Finally got your first Robomon, huh? Well, if you think you're getting certified before I do, think again. If you want to get past me, you're going to have to prove yourself in a battle. All right, so Tabitha, the girl who's been putting gum in your hair since 1st grade, was the oldest kid in class, so she's always been a step ahead on everything. She started Rager certification months ago. And here she is again, wearing the same condescending smirk you've seen for years. Well, if she wants a fight, she'll get one. So, now we're going to learn about the more complicated battle. Exciting. Ooh, and here it is. Look at this. Cool. All right, so she's got 2 people. See, she got Saber Shock and Nosferatu. Oh, I get it. So Saber Shock is lightning type. And let's see. My new guy is strong against that, and fire's not weak. And then Nosfera is, looks like that's wind type, like blowing wind. Oh, they are strong against fire, but fire's not weak against them, so it's not horrible. Ooh, but then Earth is weak attacking them. So neither of my guys is fantastic against him, but he's only got 6 life as well, so he might go down pretty easily. All right, we'll probably change this to be vertical in a second, but here we go. 1 and 2 right there. And cool, once again, they would have some battle music. Oh, and she's got a little text at the bottom. I guess it's up to me to show you the ropes. Just don't keep me tied up too long. I've got places to be. Ooh, now we get their markers for the battle. And this is one of the slicker ways I've seen of doing that. Look, they have little push-in tokens, and then you just push them out. And boom, you've got the exact person you need. And they go next to their relevant X's. So Saber Shock starts here. Nosferatu starts here. Oh, and okay, I was wondering what they would do for ours, but ours are circular. That means that you could have a same versus same battle, because you can never have more than one of the same Robomon. The rules, I said that earlier. And I'm assuming the enemy never will either. But I could have like a Pandal versus Pandal fight. All right, so let's get my boys. Armadigo and Pandal, you ready to rock? And then we give them ongoing initiative. They got these little numbers to make it easy. So Saber Shock will be first, Pandal will be second, Nosferatu is third, and Armadigo is last. All right, then we go into our first round. Okay. So these now actually are positive. There are no negative dice anymore. Those are going to let me move. There's no hourglass to run out of time to catch somebody. Wilds, defense, 1 basics. Not a ton of offense, but since they're far away, that's probably okay. But first, Saber Shock is going to activate. And we're still going to roll a d4 for what he does. But this is his movement stat. So he can move 6. And normally that's only orthogonal, left, right, up, down. But he has the Nimble trait, which is this little thing next to it, which means he can move diagonally for some of his 6 movement. Now let's see who he's going after. Which means he wants to go after water type or wind type. We don't have either one. Since neither of us are that type, he's going to focus on my left Robomon, which is Pandal. Now, real quick, though, let's talk terrain. So there's blue, yellow, and red we don't have any of. So blue and yellow don't block line of sight for range attacks. For blue terrain, it costs 2 movement to move out of a blue space, so not into, but out of the pond. And yellow you can't move onto at all, but you can attack through it with range attacks. Except flying characters like the Nosferatu can go onto yellow as well as blue, and they don't have to pay the extra for blue. That makes sense, right? Whereas red terrain or terrain with no grid at all, like this tree, you can't move into, you can't shoot through. So basically in this battle, everything except the tree we can shoot through. Everyone except Nosferatu can't move onto yellow. Everyone except Nosferatu will spend extra movement for the blue. All right, it's back to Saber Shock. He's attacking, or trying to attack Pandal. He's got Shock. Oof, so this has 5 range, and enemies will just try to get at the maximum range possible. And does 5 damage before he rolls? What the heck? Tabitha's not playing around. And range can go orthogonally and diagonally. So looking at Pandal, this or this or this, like these are the closest spots. And they don't have like super strict rules for how the enemy moves, so I'll just have him go to the most basic one. And he's attacking Pandal. Hopefully rolling badly. Okay, great. He goes up to 6 damage. Let's go and use up both of my shields to block 4 of it. I guess I could also defend, but I'd rather hit this guy hard. So yeah, for now, we'll just block 4 and take 2 damage. So Pandal's taking 3 out of 9. Okay, then Pandal is next. For each movement icon I use, he can move up to his movement value, which is 3. And you can like move before and after attacks, but you have to spend all the movement before you do something else. And he's just orthogonal. So 1, 2, 3 would get him in range of his fireball attack. And Saber Shock isn't weak or strong against this, so that seems good to me. Yeah, so that was one movement icon. And then I could go all out with both of those being turned into stars and then a 3rd star. Yeah, I mean, he's got a ton of power, so let's go for it. So it's going to be 2 to use his fireball, plus 2 to turn both of these into stars. So that's 4 power total. That's a 6 damage attack with fireball, which has 1, 2, 3 range, the number of dots. The dot here is how far they get pushed when he does the melee attack slam, which you have to be next to the person to do. Of course, he has to actually roll well. Nice, so 7 damage. So Saber Shock loses his 2 shield and takes 5 more damage. He's only got 4 left. How about that? Okay, Nosferatu is next, and he gets a 1. He can move up to 5 with flying, and he's trying to do a melee bite attack against whoever has the fastest speed. So that's going to be against Pandal again. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, I'm not 100% sure like what the movement priorities are. I'll ask Gabe and try to get him to clarify that. All right, finally we get to Armadillo. All he's got left is a single move and a basic attack. Gosh, he's slow. Oh, that's right, but he's got Burrow to move up to 3 spaces. See, I think I might do that with 2 of his power and then move 2 more. I still don't think he's going to get far enough to actually hurt anybody, but it'll do something. So yeah, let's spend 2 power to Burrow. So 1, 2, 3, I guess. Or maybe just 1, 2, 3, try to go around the water. Then he'll use my 1 remaining thing. Oh, that's right, he hasn't actually used his token yet, so might as well use a movement for that too. So that lets him go up to 4. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, crud. We'll be hitting into each other, I guess 4. And then we got a basic attack left, but he can't use it. All right, so at least he's like in the battle. Let's finish Saber Shock off and then concentrate our fire on Nosferatu. So we go into a new battle round. Roll our dice again. Okay, another 2 movement results. Only 1 shield, but a lot more combat potential, so that's good. And don't forget, they can use their defending tokens to not get hurt. So Saber Shock is first, and he's doing 4. He's going after the bot with, okay, yeah, it's going to be Pandal because he has the least health. Pounce. Saber Shock can move up to 5 extra spaces. He won't need that. And may jump over non-red terrain as if it was 1 space. He's doing a melee attack for 3 damage. Ouch. And he's attacking for a basic attack for 3. Okay, just 3. So let's go and use the 1 shield and still try to kill some guys and take 1 damage on Pandal. And yeah, coming around to Pandal, I really want to finish this guy off. So, let's see. Should I do my special attack or a basic attack? Armadillo's Earth attack is going to be weak against Nosferatu. So I think I should save the claws for Armadillo and have Pandal focus on a special. So let's see. 2 dice for Fireball would only be 3 damage. Oh, that's right, but he can also use this. Okay, so that's going to be 6 damage. So only if he rolls a -2 will he not defeat Saber Shock. Although that is going to cost 2 power plus 1 for change in the wild, so he's down to 4 power. So here we go. -1 is still okay. We had 6 damage. -1 is 5, which is actually 1 more than we needed. So Saber Shock is taken out. And I've got 2 movement and 2 basic attack. My question is, do I save both movement for Armadillo to run forward? I mean, he's also got his burrow ability, so, I think I might, just to protect him a bit since I'm out of defense, have Pandal use the move to kind of hide in the corner and either force Nosferatu to come closer if he wants to attack him, or have him hopefully go after Armadillo. And I've still got 1 basic move and some basic attacks to help him out. All right, Nosferatu, what are you doing? A 1. So that's a melee bite attack targeting the fastest Robomon for 3 damage. 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's right where I was, right? So that's great. So that means that I would have been hit if I had not moved. All right, and now speaking of moving, let's have Armadillo go right next to him and hit him with a claw for 3, which is not an advantage or disadvantage. It's just a basic attack, but better than having disadvantage with the other attack. Whoa! So that was 5. So Nosferatu loses his 2 shield, and now he's only got 3 life left. I forgot how weak he was. And Armadillo still has his token, but he can't attack again, so I guess he just won't use it or won't worry about it. And go back to another round. Pandal's going to be first. And let's see what he can make happen. Ooh, this is going to be good. Let's see, can he reach? Yes, he can. 1, 2, 3. Within range of Fireball. Let's do a full strength attack. And we'll have him save some defense in case the guy isn't dead and attacks back. Although, I mean, I'm doing 6 damage, right? There is no disadvantage for fire against wind. That does use up almost all his energy. He's down to 2, although there are items you can buy that let you re-energize. But we don't need to worry about it. 0 is 6 full damage. Boom, get out of here, Nosferatu. Now, Pandal does keep his 4 damage, though. So we'll have to either go repair him or use one of our repair kits, which you can only use out of battle. All right, let's zoom in a bit. Win, I get 3 money. I get 2 batteries, and I go to 1703. And I could have tried to fight her again if I had lost, I believe. What'd she say? Wow, I underestimated you, but don't worry, I won't make that mistake next time. Oh, and I get another small repair kit. Oh, nice. 1 small repair kit fully heals a Robomon. So I've got 3 of them now. Oh, actually 4. So yeah, it's not that hard to get your Robomon back in fighting shape. And with that epic takedown of Tabitha, we are free to go on to page 3. Which takes us to the old road. We can catch more Armadillos and 14s. Oh, man. So maybe the only place to catch that other Robomon was back in town. But you can always go back there later. Looks like there's lots of other trainers to challenge, lots of other stuff to do. But with this, you've seen, I think, all of the core mechanics in the game, the story elements, the quests, the combat, both wild combat where you're trying to catch somebody and combat against another player, competitive combat on the grid. So I'm going to take the rest of my playing offline, play through the entire demo, and I'll be back with my thoughts on the game. So see you then. All right, so I went and played through the entire rest of the demo just so I could give my honest thoughts. I also had some conversations with Gabe, the designer, to kind of share my thoughts and get his reactions. So let's get through what I think about Robomon so far. So first of all, as you can see from the playthrough, there is a lot of the game that is about moving around, exploring different locales, and having like sort of narrative-based experiences there. And at least for my taste, I think this is really expertly done. The sort of like pixel art they have for the locations as a old-time video game player is beautiful. The writing is really well done so far. I basically saw almost no grammatical errors, and this is, still a pretty early draft, so that's excellent. And you're definitely getting a lot more here than you're getting at least in any Pokemon game I've played, because the world building is really cool. They have hints of like a ancient robot war and like people recovering from that and like, shattered remains of the enemies you fought along the way. And then the use of comics to show the most important characters and give them a bit more personality, I think is just a really nice touch. Although it does sort of ask you to go in deep and like read a lot and see a lot of things each time you go to a new page. Each page I found took me about like 30 to 45 minutes. The entire demo took maybe 5 hours, so I think the entire game, like a full campaign, if you tried to see almost everything, would probably, based on what Gabe's been saying, be like a 50-hour campaign, certainly a lot of content. But if you have no interest in a game that explores like a world like this, if you have no interest in reading narrative passages, if you just want to like have Pokemon fight after Pokemon fight, this stuff might not add much to your experience, so it's going to be based on your preferences. Another big element of the game is collecting Robomon, and this is just as much fun as you would expect it to be. I mean, it's fun in the original Pokemon, it's fun in all the games that have sort of, imitated that. Getting Robomon with different types, with different special abilities, with different movement, definitely makes the battles feel different. And once I didn't get a full roster of 6, but I got 5 in the time I played the demo. Once you get your full roster, you have a lot more options in battle. It's cool to like pull them in and out when you're in tougher fights. And then such a fun touch to throw in these journal cards, this Pokedex, basically. Like literally has no gameplay purpose, just entirely flavor and theme and fun, but it's an awesome touch. Now the catching of wild Robomon, parts of it I like. There are some things I suggested to Gabe. First of all, right now it's incredibly punishing to fail because you use up all the batteries you've spent, and then you also use up the reprogrammer, so I think he's going to change the rules so that you don't use the reprogrammer you throw if you don't actually catch the Robomon, which makes sense because you could just pick it up anyway, right? So that'll certainly lessen the sting. Another suggestion I had that I think he's going to use is putting something positive for the wild catching a Pokemon on the die face with the hourglass that makes them run away, because right now this is a double whammy. You both miss and run out of time to catch the Robomon. but I think he's either going to put like a reroll token on there or some of the other positive tokens. So it shouldn't feel entirely bad to roll these. It'll give you like a tougher choice or give you other options to use. And in general, he said he's going to add some mitigation for the battles. I'd suggest maybe discarding a die to reroll as many other ones as you want, or like I said, having like reroll icons on here that you build up. Then you could use those to maybe like reroll your capture rolls or reroll your attack rolls. All those things would be useful and cool and just kind of give you more control of the game. But I do like the core dice usage for your Robomon. I like how you have to balance it when you have two of them, kind of split the actions between them. And this little attack defend token your Robomon get every turn, I think it works super well. It gives you a lot of mitigation. You can always do at least a little bit of what you want. You're never like stuck being unable to move or getting tanked with tons of damage. And having gone through more of these battles, especially the boss battle at the end of the demo where they have 3 Robomon and they are like really high level. They have a lot more hit points than your guys do. It gets pretty cool, like seeing your energy levels wind down, having to pull out one Robomon and put another one in. It was pretty epic, so I definitely think as you get into tougher battles, that's a lot of fun. And Gabe did clarify a few things. I probably already put some subtitles in the video when this happened, but a big one is that if an enemy can't reach its target, but it can reach your other Robomon, it will attack that one, so they won't have very many wasted turns. Now, don't get me wrong, they are still dumb. They do still run towards you, but a lot of them, especially later in the game I played, they had really long range, like 5 or 6 or 7 range. So the strategy of always just hanging back and letting them come to you didn't work as well in that case. Although I still feel like it'd be cool if there was something that would like push you forward or like reward you, like if there were things to pick up. I don't know. But overall, I like these battles. They do get way more interesting when you have 2v2 battles and even more Robomon coming in. It gets a lot more exciting. And overall, the biggest thing I can say is, as someone who has barely played Pokemon video games, like they just never were my jam, I had a ton of fun with this, so I think it could very much appeal to gamers who have not played Pokemon before. But if you have, I mean, like literally this is like basically the first real-life Pokemon the board game, like not like the card game, which clearly doesn't model the video games and all that fun at all. It's incredibly ambitious, so will Gabe and team finish in 2023? I don't know. But the stuff they have so far is like really amazing. Like, you know, again, soundtracks, comic books, great writing, interesting battles, tons of Robomon, these beautiful location illustrations, like all this stuff is just super impressive. And I hope that they pull it off, because right now it's tough for me to say 100% how great the content will be, if it'll like, you know, stay the course the entire way. I've only played a small portion, but what I've played, super impressive. And again, Gabe seems really receptive to the feedback I've been giving. I'm sure other playtesters will help him out too. So I imagine with that attitude, things will look great by the end. So there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I will see you at the next stop.